everyone, I'm Bill. I'm with Cali Moto TV. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the garage with our very first live stream through StreamYard. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this video. We have 3 cams set up for you guys. We have the garage cam up here, the Bogna cam, so you guys can see Bogna over here. And then, of course, we've got the cell phone cam to give you guys some up-close views. I can bring you guys over to the bike and show you guys what we're working on over at the bike. So I hope you guys enjoy this style. So let me know in the comment down below. I do have some cool stuff set up on this thing. We've not used it before, so we have things like banners that we can scroll through on the bottom. That's right. It is a smash the like button, like a Palooza right now. We need everyone to smash the like button. And it's not coming up on your screen. There it goes. Smash the like button. We've got a little bit of delay, but so today we are on the RS660, and we have all these parts that basically we've gathered in the last few weeks, and we haven't installed them because we had the Ducati Multistrada here, which was
love-hate.
There's a love-hate. And so we didn't get to work too much on the RS660. So Smash-A-Palooza is off for a quick moment.
You got 11 likes out of this one.
11 likes. So with the Smash-A-Palooza is working. I call the Smash-A-Palooza a win. So we've got some things. Let's go ahead and grab this cell phone camera and show you guys what we have over on the table. So we have the Rearsets, which we'll be working on first. We have the DNA air filter with the Carbonsmith velocity stacks. But I have some bad news about the SE project. It is here, but I'll bring you guys up to speed. We also have some Evotech stuff, front and rear spools, so that'll be kind of cool, front and rear spools. And then first thing we're going to be working on is getting the Rearsets up. So let's go ahead and set our cell phone camera back up here. All right, so today we are, how today is going to kind of work is I actually am filming videos today. So you guys are going to get a little bit of sneak peek behind the scenes on the video filming, because I really want to make sure that you guys see what I'm doing. If you guys can see, you guys might be thinking, why does Bill have straps to the back of the RS660? Well, we learned something with the MT-09 that you had to jack up the rear end to hold the swing arm kind of stable, because we're taking the bolt that holds the swing arm to the frame off. Now, last time, you remember the contraption we had? I had 2 big stands and we had a bar. And I thought there's got to be an easier way. So I put a hook in the ceiling into the beam, and we're going to have the lift where when I put it all the way up, I'm going to tighten this and I'm going to lower the lift, and the wheels should just be about 1 inch off the bottom of the lift, which will give me some play to move with the rear swing arm. So that's kind of why we have this contraption. But again, I wanted to make sure that I filmed videos for you guys today. So, yeah. Wait, did I see something about heart? Okay, yeah. So, good news. We have actually a new lift coming. There's, well, there is something wrong with the Harbor Freight lift. It's been 4 years, right, babe? So 4 years this lift I've had. And it's been a good 4 years. But what happens is when I take the holding bar out, you know, I got to kind of work on it like this, because it gradually goes down and I got to pump it back up. And it's a pump actuated. So I bought a nice hydraulic lift that actually has 12-inch extensions on each side. So it's actually nice that I'll be able to put a bike up there. And if for some reason I got to take it off the chalk, put it up on the stand or something, I actually have like 4-5 feet, I think, is the total width of the lift. So it'll be cool. And then the sides, of course, can come off. So new lift is coming. I don't know. What else? What's going on? You just came from horse show.
So sleepy.
Bobby was showing Remy yesterday. So Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we got some people. How many people do we got in this thing? So new software that it's a little bit different than we're used to. So 43 people watching now. Pretty decent little show we got going on. If you guys are coming over from Facebook, so yesterday I shared it in the 2 RS groups, and actually someone shared it in 2 other RS groups. One was the RS660 racing group. So thank you guys for coming. If you guys came from Facebook, if you guys came over, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Smash the like button. Smash-A-Palooza is back on for 43 people. So right now we have 43 people watching the live show. We need 43 more likes. So we should have an equal ratio. People watching, likes. Thank you. So yeah, so we're gonna get to the rear sets first. And like I said, when I'm going to be filming an instructional video, so we won't be interacting with you guys live during that, but in between takes and in between switching cameras and batteries and stuff like that, then I'll interact with you guys. But while we're actually filming it, it'll be kind of a behind the scenes. So we've got get you guys over here. So we've got our vlog camera, and we've got our chesty cam. And then we have a nice little just stationary cam that we can show you guys all of the details of the video. And of course the rear sets. So the rear sets are actually pretty cool. So let me give you guys a little vent about the rear sets. As always, as you know, the rear sets did not come assembled, and actually they didn't actually even come with any instructions. There wasn't even a diagram for the assembly. And I called Tyler over at WSBK, and he gave me yet a good excuse, but a very poor excuse as to why there's not directions. The reasoning that there's no directions is because these are for race use only. And typically race teams know how to assemble this stuff. The only problem is that I would probably guesstimate that they sell over half of these for street use. So I bought it for street use. I don't use track use. So, and we promote that we want these. So, yeah, anyways. All right. So, oh, I see. Okay. So we got the viewers up there. All right. So, I guess without further ado, I'll start my video.
All right. I'm talking to people.
Oh, you're chatting?
Yes.
Over there on the
we
chat?
Have people from Spain, from
everywhere, huh? Any interesting chats yet?
Nothing yet. And someone asked what's happening with the ticket. I said no change to insurance yet.
So with that, because I haven't gotten a ticket in such a long time, it is eligible for traffic school, which means that I'll have to pay the fine and take traffic school, which is probably what I'll do. I did actually contact ticket dismisser, and it was kind of funny, his reply. His reply was, have you taken traffic school? And I said, well, no. And he's like, just do that. We can't guarantee that we'll be able to dismiss your ticket, which I was like, I thought that's what you guys did. And so, yeah. So, all right. Netherlands is here. All right. All right. So I'm going to start with my little intro and get it first. All right. So we'll give you guys a nice little view there. Actually, you know what? Are you warm enough? Do you mind if I turn this off for now?
Sure.
Which one is? Here, I'll move it closer so you can have some radiant heat for a minute. All right. I'm Bill. I'm with Cali Moto TV. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the garage. Welcome all the little people up there on the live stream. Thank you guys for joining us. So today we have a very cool video. We're actually filming a live stream of this install. Today we're going to be working on the 2021 Aprilia RS660, and we're installing the new Spider rear sets down here. Now, this install is going to be a little bit different because it's not just your standard install. The problem with the RS660 is the very similar problem that we had with the MT09. I believe did we do a video for the MT09? I'm not sure if we did a video for the MT09 because I don't think we knew how to do it, but if we did, I'll link it up above. You have to take the main bolt out of the frame that holds the rear swing arm onto the frame. So we have to actually lift the bike. So that's what we've got the contraption here. So I'm going to show you guys my little tips and tricks of this, and hopefully it's helpful to you guys. And then we're going to walk through the full assembly of both rear sets, brake side and the shifter side, because there was no directions. As you guys know, I complain about this all the time. And so I'm going to walk you guys through step by step on kind of how this goes together. And then we'll get them installed, and I'm excited to get these things on. So make sure you do the normal, hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and then ring that bell notification, because the bell notification is going to give you notifications of when we get the SC Project exhaust installed. We also have a DNA air filter and the Carbonsmith velocity stacks coming. What else do we have? We have the EvoTech radiator guard going on with the EvoTech spools. So stay tuned. We've got a lot coming. So without further ado, let's get the chesty cam on. Let's show how the rear sets go together, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and walk you step by step on how to get this thing lifted up and installed onto the bike.
One take.
One take, baby.
What's reverbing?
I can't get the phone to stop 100%.
Oh.
So it's like I tried to turn the volume all the way off, but it won't.
Did you use the volume buttons?
Yeah, no. Is that what that thing is?
I don't know.
All right, guys. So that's good. Let me get a sip of my cappuccino.
Where's mine?
Oh, it's pretty good too.
Is it pretty good?
Oh, it's a solid one. All right, so I'm gonna get my trusty chesty cam on. What's going on over here? Anything new? In the comment section. I think now is a good time for, with 48 people, like a palooza, baby. Come on, smash that like button.
Baby, chesty cam is so sexy. Your straps are a little.
Hey, oh, whoa. What happened there? I got excited. This thing is never right. All right. See what I do for you guys? Bring you guys these quality content. Guy yesterday was like, replied on my multi-strata video. He's like, boring. Went and looked at his videos. He didn't even have any videos on YouTube. That's pretty boring to me. Sorry. Did you delete that one?
I haven't.
We're really active in the comment section, as you guys can see. We have a live commentary replier, Wagner.
I'm a good typer.
All right. So my chesty cam.
There's some action going on in Russian, but I can't.
Right, come on, English, baby, English. We don't know what's
or something.
Huh?
It's like not Wagner can't read it.
All right. All right, so chesty cam's on. So we're gonna walk you guys through what we're doing here. All right, so what we've done with the rear of the bike is, if you look up top, you'll see that we've installed a hook that holds two straps. We've come down with the straps, and then here we've actually hooked it to the rear kind of luggage passenger holder thingy majiggy. And then on the lift, we have the lift bar stop up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift the lift all the way up. You're going to watch the straps are going to get really loose. And then what we're going to do is tighten these straps. So we'll pull the straps nice and tight. Get them nice and tight. Make sure we're up far enough because we're going to need that whole little thing. And then the tricky part, well, I don't know if it's necessarily a tricky part, but the major part is we need to make sure that the bike doesn't fall off the lift. So we're going to gently release the pressure in the lift. And you guys should be able to see down below, the back of the bike is just going to lift off. And we have just about, I mean, not even an inch, but that's all we need. All we need to do is just make sure that we can have some control of this, but make sure that you guys obviously have it secured in the front and everything like that. So tools that you're going to need. You're going to need a big Mamma Jamma 24 millimeter for the main bolt here. You're going to need a 13 millimeter, which is going to go here and on the other side. Once you undo this bolt, you're actually going to push that whole bolt through. For the other side, you're going to need an 8 millimeter wrench, and then you're going to also need a 5 millimeter on this side to get the shifter off. So let's go ahead and start with the shifter and the 5 millimeter. So what we're going to do is just pull this off. Now, I previously have taken this off, and I will probably actually install the spider cover on while I've got this off, just because we're already here. But you can see I've put a little bit of a mark right here just to indicate where the shifter should line up. So once we remove this bolt, we're going to pull the shifter out, and then that's going to get us loose. Now we're going to have to obviously undo the shifter here, which actually might even be that 8 millimeter. Of course it's not, so we'll have to get 10 millimeter there. And so let's get this off, then we'll work these off, go to the other side, get this one off, and that bolt should push through, and our rear set should be free. So 10 millimeter. All right, what we got? Anything good over there?
John Wright's Adventure bought a KTM 690 SMCR. He hasn't gotten it yet, but he told me to tell you because you love KTMs. With all your heart, it's the best bike.
I don't know about that, John. But I will say Kerry loves his KTM. Kerry's all about it.
When am I going to get to ride dirt again? Finally, first.
First?
Yeah.
I don't know. We're going to take the 0 up, and then...
Then you guys went on a long drive, and 0 couldn't have went.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we kind of chickened out, huh?
Bob V is asking, stupid question, but what are rear sets?
Okay, it's a good question. I mean, they're because rear sets really. Oh, let me get over here. Let me get this. Bob, I'm gonna give you guys an up close and personal. Rear sets are your foot pegs for your driver foot pegs. So it's actually I don't know where do we get rear sets from? I don't know who thought of the word rear sets because
it's the set on the rear.
No, I mean your passenger pegs should be called rear sets in my opinion, but they are they're your foot pegs. So aftermarket rear sets, why we have aftermarket rear sets is because we've got adjustability for the foot peg. So you can see Spider was so nice. They actually have the bolt through the front, so you can actually change the peg without having to take the rear set off.
No.
It's pretty amazing. So you've got adjustability on the toe peg and everything. So these rear sets are built for who knows of a rider, generally Japanese bikes or foreign bikes. They're usually set for someone like 5'6", 120 pounds.
Whoa.
Clearly I'm not. And then, BMW really kind of stepped up with a little bit bigger profile. They're like more 5'10", 6 foot. And so the rear sets actually on there were actually pretty good, but I had the Bonamicis on my S1000, but we have, what do I have? Do I have Bonamicis? I do have Bonamicis in the Street Fighter. We have CNCs coming for the V2.
Are we?
Well, I mean,
well, you're supposed to order it. You have the hookups. I don't have no hookups.
I emailed Randy over at Bellissimoto, so Monday we'll have those ordered. So I think it's a good time. I think it's a good time to get another like a Palooza. It's only 41 people now. We won't like left. All right. So all right. Where am I? Got distracted. That.
Ooh, shiny.
Oh, I'm taking the bike off. Yeah, that's right. I'm taking the bike apart. All right. We're gonna keep up our like a Palooza. All right, so we've got the shift bar taken off the rear set, and then we can just keep this up here. So now we're going to be working on getting this bolt off and this bolt off. Those two bolts are going to basically free this side. So we've got our 13 millimeter. Let me get a little extension on here. All right, so we're going to break this one loose. All right, and now that we've got that one loose, now is the hard part. So we've got a 24 millimeter and we have a breaker bar. Now, yesterday, I will say, I kind of reversed torque spec and I got this thing to break off at just over 100 foot-pounds of torque for this main bolt. So I'm going to put that back on at 100 foot-pounds of torque. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get this thing broken loose. All right, so with that bolt removed, we have removed our bolt and spacer. Remember, we have a bolt and spacer. And then we have a nice long bolt here. And I do want to say HSBK did indicate to us we do have our kickstand is held in by the rear set bolt. So you'll see there, okay? Now, if you guys are doing a kickstand eliminator, you'll remove the second bolt and you'll need a spacer in there. And the spacer looks pretty decent. So now we've got that done, we're going to go ahead and head over to the other side. And over here, we're going to be removing our 13 millimeter bolt down here. And once we've removed that, we'll take our 8 millimeter and we're actually going to remove the two bolts that hold the brake master on. All right, so I've switched over to a 1/4 inch ratchet because I couldn't get a good bite on the bottom here. So we don't want to strip these bolts. I believe we reused these bolts. Actually, looking now, it may be that we put new ones in. All right, so we're going to grab a little pick, and you're going to see on the Brake Master that there's this little pin. We're going to pull this pin towards us, which is going to break this retaining clip loose, which is going to allow us to remove the clip that holds the master to the rear set. All right, so quick little trick here. There's actually a little rubber band that holds that, or a little rubber O-ring that holds that on there. So make sure you grab the little O-ring off, and we'll go ahead and keep that just there. Here's our retaining clip, and we're loose here, and you can see our bolt is loose from the other side. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a small little mallet, rubber mallet. Please don't use a metal hammer. And we're going to tap, 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 tap. So you can see we're just pushing that bolt through. And as we go to the other side, we're going to see our bolt out. So now what we're going to do is as we pull this out, this is going to, the weight is going to change on the swing arm. And the weight on the change of the swing arm, we're going to have to adjust by simply lifting up the lift to hold this wheel in its right position. So we'll be able to kind of manipulate that and get the proper weight so when we go back through. But before we take it out, before we do that, let's go ahead over to the rear sets and let's walk through the assembly of the rear sets and then get ready to put them on. And we're going to Loctite everything and make sure it's all ready for assembly or all ready for install. Screw that one up. So sometimes I can't talk, so I have to do a second take. So
can you explain to your viewers what you're doing? Because everyone is complaining why the chest cam isn't showing up on the video.
So for you guys that are just coming in, so we're actually doing an install video right now. That's why I'm not talking to you guys. So the install video, you guys will see this in the coming weeks of the install. So this is not an install video. This is just to bring you guys behind the scene and hang out with us in the garage. This is not the install video. So the chesty cam isn't for you guys. You guys are going to see this video in a future episode of the full install on this. So I hope that answers your guys' question. But so the chesty cam is for the future video. And then in between takes of the chesty cam or in between takes of the video making, I'll interact with you guys and stuff like that. So that's why we're kind of like not talking right now with you guys. So I'm going to finish this take real quick, and then I'm going to take a quick break, and coffee's ready. So, all right. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to actually put the rear sets all together, get them locked tight, get them all assembly, and once they're all assembled, then we'll get them ready for install. All right, I need a coffee break.
There's your coffee.
But no, the other coffee's ready.
Oh, the other type of.
All right, Sorry, I had to chase the bird around. If you guys don't know, I have a big macaw, Bailey. Most of you guys know. He gets obsessed with something, like so obsessed with wanting something that he'll go through and find what he's looking for. Babe, the cap to the Nespresso, it's got the little spring. He wants that. I hid the cap behind the Nespresso machine today, and I just went in there and he had the spring, and it's all gone. It's gone now. We've lost our spring. Sorry. All right, what's going on over here? Anything good? How many viewers we got? 38 and losing viewers. All right, I'm gonna keep trucking with this thing. So if you guys are new coming in, like I said, we're actually filming an install video in addition to the live stream. So you guys are kind of getting behind the scenes. So Chesty Cam isn't for you guys. Chesty Cam is for the video. If you guys are interested in the HSBK, can you find a link for that, for the rear sets? What we're working on, HSBK Spider rear sets. If you guys are interested in the Spider rear sets, we'll link them in the comments, and then we'll also link it afterwards. So, but yeah, all right. So.
Darn, Aprilia is just as expensive as freaking Ducati.
Yeah, they're not the cheapest rear sets, but I think they're one of the first that's available. So, all right. So we're going to be working on here. All right, so we're going to be working with the assembly of a 5mm and a 4mm is what you're going to need for the assembly. So let's go ahead and talk about the clutch side first. So you're going to have about 6 pieces in the box. You're going to have the main piece here. You're going to have the backing piece here. You're going to have the actual shifter lever. You're going to have the foot peg, of course, and then you're going to have the heel rest, which is nice because this bike actually doesn't have heel rest. So you can see how I've kind of installed them together. You're going to see that these are the flat bolts. The rounded head bolt goes here, flat bolt, and then the 2 rounded heads go there. And so now that these are together, we can fully install them and Loctite everything. For the brake side, you're going to have the front. Then you're going to have the 2 bolts for the brake master. So we're actually using 2 new ones. You're going to have the actual bracket that holds the shifter. You're going to have the shifter, along with both toe pegs come separate, but that's pretty easy. And your foot peg and your heel rest. And then again, flat bolt, rounded. Those are your 5mm. And then you're going to have flat bolt, rounded, and flat bolt in here, which is a 5mm, flat. So pretty easy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and pull these apart individually. And so this will be our shifter, and we're going to get Loctite on here. And then we'll go ahead and Loctite this down. And the second one. And for the shifter side, we can wait to do these just in case we need to change or take this off. We're going to wait to Loctite this, and we're going to wait to Loctite this. So this one is ready to go on the other side. Now you're going to have your shifter. Actually, we can actually get the shifter on here. So the shifter is going to go in the eyelet there. And that's going to be a all right, so that's a 10 millimeter. We'll get that tight, which is going to give us the free, and we're pretty good. So the only thing I have not locked tight is Actually, I'm going to go ahead and Loctite this one. And the only reason why I'm going to Loctite this one is because I know obviously I have a bigger foot, so I'm going to want to go with the longest distance. Real quick for you guys that are coming on the live stream, we're actually shooting a install video. So if you guys are just coming in and wondering why I'm not talking to you guys and why I've got the chesty cam on and why you can't see the chesty cam is because we're actually doing a full install video for you guys. So in between takes and in between stuff, I'll be talking to you guys. So sorry for not paying attention to you guys, but we're going to get these things installed, and then before we go on to the next thing, we'll chat with you guys and visit.
So some new people are asking why the bike is floating right now.
Yeah, so the bike is, so let me go ahead and turn this off real quick, give it a quick little break, because I think I'm done here. So the reason why the bike is kind of floating here is the bolt of the frame. Actually, let me bring you guys, I'll bring you guys over real quick. Let me grab my...
Are you going to GP shift it?
I am not GP shifting. The reason why I'm not GP shifting is none of my bikes are GP shift, and I have a hard time going, when I'm on the track, I actually want GP shift, but when I'm on the street, I'm just used to shifting the way I'm shifting. So, all right, real quick, let me show you guys. So we've got this rear set off, okay? And you can see that the bolt here, it goes all the way through the subframe and the rear swing arm. So you can see the bolt sticking out here. So what we're having to do is we've got to float the bike in order to get it, the weight off of the rear swing arm, So get the weight off the swing arm so we can pull that bolt out. And then we've got some leverage to, once we put the bolt back in, we've got the leverage to be able to get that thing to get in and stick in. So, well, cell phone cam actually works out well. Some of you guys wanted some detailed videos. So, any other questions real quick?
No.
All right. All right, so I'm going to get back to my video. So I'll be back with you guys after I get this other one assembled and then get ready for this because I'm nervous. All right, so we got the shifter side all done. So we're going to go ahead and Loctite these two bolts and Loctite this bolt. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wait to Loctite these and these because we have access to these. We're also going to Loctite the toe peg. Remember the toe peg, we've got 4 adjustments. Now I've got obviously a 12 foot, so I'm going to use the longest one regardless. But if you can actually see, there's a little bit of room for you guys to adjust them later. But what I did was I kind of mocked it up, and I was like, all right, I kind of like this position, so we're definitely going to run with this one. So go ahead and lock tight, lock tight, lock tight, and lock tight. Oh, we also got to put the brake switch on there.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
Could you use a center stand to lift the bike?
No, because the center stand is going to keep the weight of the bike needs to come off the subframe or the swing arm. By lifting the swing arm, the weight of the bike is still on the swing arm. So lifting that isn't going to help. Now, it might be helpful as far as when we're trying to get this lined up, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to use the lift to be able to kind of leverage this up and down to make that bolt fit back in. So no, a rear stand will not fit or work. Now, HSBK used a jack to jack up the front or the bottom of the bike. But the problem is that once they jacked up the bottom of the bike, they lost the leverage to be able to use this kind of subframe. So getting this bolt back in is going to be a trick, but once we get, I can use the lift to kind of raise it up and down. So no, rear stand will not work.
No, center stand.
I'm sorry, center stand. Oh, center stand.
Yeah.
Yes, center stand meaning, I mean, if you've got a center stand like a Volt that takes the whole weight off the bike, you have to at least get all the weight off of at least the rear end of the bike. So whatever you can use to get it off the rear end of the bike, we found hanging it is the best because it just works the easiest. So.
Also, what did you do again for the MT-09?
The MT-09, I had 2 bars. I have 2 big, I actually borrowed some muffler stands and put a bar across it and used the straps. I think we just strapped it around the bottom or used the foot pegs, the rear passenger pegs to hold that subframe up. Kind of essentially the same thing, but we just used it in a different method, basically. The hook in the ceiling is the best because most likely you're going to have a hook in the ceiling somewhere in your garage that you can put into the beam. So. All right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and tighten up our last bolt here. So again, we've Loctited 5 millimeter, and we're going to leave these loose and leave these loose and these loose to be able to give you adjustability, but we also did Loctite the foot peg. Now, what's nice about the HSBK rear sets is it actually does utilize the brake switch. So we're going to have to pull the brake switch out of here once we get it out before we install it. So we'll install the brake switch, get everything ready, and then install the rear set on. All right, so now it's a pain in the ass. Can I borrow you? Can you pump the jack up, the long one? Pump it up in little increments. One more. One more. One more. One more. One more. One more. All right, go ahead and push, release it all. The small one.
How much?
Just slow, but all the way.
Good?
Yeah. I was just seeing if there was a balance point that thing just like comes right out. Negative. So,
Nice try, babe.
Yeah, nice try. Nice try.
Does the 660 come with a steel braided line?
660s looks like they have steel braided lines. But one thing that I did find out about the brake lines, Tyler from HSBK brought this to my attention. If you guys are RS660 owners, look for the bleeder on the front caliper. There isn't one. Well, there is one, but it's actually in the front line. It's actually adapted to the front line. So it's kind of an interesting, it's a little interesting. So.
Video?
No, not yet.
James wants to know the story behind the wall of dang.
Oh, the wall of dang. Well, let's get to an intermission because I want to work on this right now. So, James, I'll get you a response to that here in a second. But I've got this bolt halfway out and the swing arm moved, and now we're, yeah. All right, so what I have is a little extension here that actually fits perfect in here. And I've started to tap that bolt out, and we've actually gotten to the point where the bolt has passed the frame, so you can see that there's some play and some movement in here. So what we have to do is, what I want to do is I want to align this up in here so we can get it all set up real nice and be able to line that up. So I've got a holder in place for the two. So find an extension that you can tap in there, and don't cram it in. Make sure that it's lined up. So you're probably going to need two people to kind of move this thing around. But once you get it moved in, you're going to want to use something like an extension to be able to go in there and hold the swing arm to the frame. All right, so now I can borrow your help. So what I need is, let's see, come over here and push that tire that way. Okay, that way. Yep. Like that. There we go.
More or?
Yeah. So push it kind of hard that way.
That thing is like pretty much out.
No, yeah, but push it that way.
Oh.
There we go. So I want, like, this side needs to go down like that, like Yeah. And then push that way. Like a lot of pressure though.
The whole bike is just moving.
Yeah, so.
Do I have to?
Yeah, so like. But I need like a lot of push that way.
I am pushed that.
Okay, go ahead. There we go. All right, all right.
Good?
Good.
I can return from my station.
Good. All right, so a little bit of finagling, but we've got this through. So you can see I've just got a placement holder here, which now what that's done is basically push this almost all the way out. And once this comes all the way out, we're free, and our rear set is free. All right, so our brake switch, we've got this turned around. Our brake switch is a 4mm, which you're going to see is pretty much just comes right out. And the switch, you can see it's kind of zip tied in there. So go ahead and pull that out, see if we utilize this. And then I believe we're going to need to use this same spring because I don't see a new one. So I think we're going to utilize the same spring from the stock rear set. All right, so we're going to take the spring off here, and we're going to, let's see, it looks like these two bolts here that are included are going to be for our spring. And then our brake switch, you're going to see, is actually going to basically just bolt right in there. So the clip that was in there, we're not going to be utilizing that clip. All right, so scratch that. We're actually going to use the bolts here for the spring that's going to go into the new rear set. So 8mm, which is going to be removing these two little spring bolts. 1. And 2. And we'll throw a dab of new Loctite on there, and it's going to go here. where is this? How do we use this oven? Maybe it goes from here. Seems like a big bolt to two. So we are using, all right, guys, so the frustration continues. I think we're going here. Never mind, I think I figured it out. All right, I figured it out. So on the rear set, so you guys can see, there's for the spring, they don't define where the spring bolt goes. So we've got two screws that are going to go there, which hold that. So, all right. I think we're going to go the longer one. All right, so we're going to go ahead and thread. There are two bolts that are actually rounded bolts, two sizes here. And we're going to be using these. So you can see once we screw these in. So these actually don't fit the ones that came out of the stock rear sets. So once we thread those in and Loctite those in, you're going to see we've got a nice angle that now we can put the spring on there. And actually there are two sets of nuts as well. And I think the two sets of nuts are to go in there to kind of keep that spring in check. This is where directions come in handy.
Babe, directions are overrated. Just push the button until it works.
So sometimes with the lack of directions, it makes it a little bit harder to film because we've got to figure out how, so this is sometimes when we're doing installs, you guys don't see this part of, me having to fuss around and figure out how it looks so good in the video, but make it work. We make it work.
You know who isn't here?
Is Snickers not here?
No, he is not.
Snickers! Somebody must have eaten too many Snickers last night.
I want Snickers. I some Carmelo eggs.
All right, so I think what I've determined is that we're going to be using the bolts that are included, and there was a set of nuts. It's the last piece of the puzzle I didn't have, and I'm just tightening these nuts just slightly against the spring, just to hold the spring in place. There we go. I feel like it's a bad design, but I may be off. So now we have a spring. And then once this is done, now we can come back over to the brake switch, and the brake switch just bolts right on here, which is actually very nice. So we do have a rear brake switch. Now, most race rear sets don't have brake switch mountings because they say, well, they're for racing, you don't need a brake switch. But I don't know, HSBK told me that too, but they included the brake switch. For you guys that are just coming in, if you guys are just new to the stream, we're actually shooting, in addition to the live stream, we're actually shooting videos for the installs of these parts that we're going to be doing. So it is a live stream for you guys to be able to interact. So in between cuts, I'll talk with you guys, but outside that, this is an install video, which is going decent. So. All right, so the switch is installed, a little bit of Loctite on the switch, and tighten that up. And you guys will notice that now with the spring and the switch, that you can hear the activation of the switch, so that's very nice. And I think we're getting there. It seems like it's going too well, so let's wait until we figure out what else is wrong. All right, so all right, so the rear set's all assembled on the brake side. You're going to want to make sure you're doing the brake side first, and you're going to see the shaft here is ready to go back in. Now, also just an FYI, when you guys pull this shaft out, there is a spacer back here. Make sure that goes back in between the bolt and the swing arm. And now the big feat is going to be, you can see how I'm adjusting the swing arm, is obviously getting the swing arm to line up with the motor bolt, which is going to allow me to slide this in. So that's where our biggest finagle is going to be right now. All right, so I can use you again if I may. So this side, we're pushing this thing back that way. Okay. So we're kind of, yeah. Oh. Solid. That's it?
That's it?
Yeah. All right, my lovely assistant. Thank you, babe. So what we ended up doing was actually very easy, and I'm loving the lift idea here. Is go to an example. So we're pushing this way on the back of the bike, and we're pushing that way on the wheel, which allowed us to get that thing right through. So now we're threaded through the first part. So as we tap this in and we get to the other side, we're going to have to reline it back up so the bolt goes through the other side of the subframe. So
Do you want to do quick intermission or you on a roll?
No, I'm on a roll.
Okay.
I want to get this thing. No, I need you still. I need you still.
Okay.
So. All right, do you want to grab that thing?
Just pull it out.
Yeah, no, as I tap it, so it's just a tap out.
Thank you.
No, that's all right.
I'm gonna do this.
Yep. So what we're gonna do is now you're gonna do this side
Okay.
as I tap it in. So push there. Yep. Yep. All right. So again, my lovely assistant, thank you, babe. The opposite way. So babe, would you mind illustrating one more time? So we're pushing the tire this way, pushing the frame that way. Tap, tap, tap it in.
Gently.
And yeah, gently. And you can see now that if we go to the other side, we're ready for the rear set on this side.
You should do a little intermission now.
Intermission.
So we have
All right.
2 questions. One about your wall of tank.
Okay. So hang on real quick. Hang on. Let me get my. We need a battery change soon on this. So.
And 2, what's the most easiest and most rewarding bike to work on for you?
All right. So 2 questions for you guys. Before we get into that, we're going to go ahead and like a Palooza. For you 51 guys that are here, I'm going to use you guys over here if you guys don't mind. All right. So if you guys are new, just coming in, thank you guys for stopping in. We are hanging out in the garage and installing all of the parts onto the RS660. We've got a bunch of parts over here you guys can see in the other cam. And so what we're doing is right now, we're actually shooting a video for you guys to install the rear sets from the Spider. So we're kind of doing 2 things. We're actually hanging out with you guys and having you guys kind of see behind the scenes. So when you guys see me not paying attention to you guys, I'm actually shooting the video. So I'm kind of walking through step by step, but this video will be out most likely week after next. Next week, if you guys are familiar with the channel, we have a bonus ride week. That's right, I'm getting on, well, I've already been on 3 bikes, 3 different bikes in the collection, and we've done our Lake Hennessy bonus ride. We have the Street Fighter V4S out on a just incredible, oh my God, that was a pretty awesome ride. Out to the lake and back. Then actually we have the Multistrada V4S out for a bonus ride. Not very entertaining, I'll tell you that much, but never to say the least, it's been out. And then the part 2 of Officers Perez, if you guys thought that I didn't go for a ride after I got that speeding ticket, I sure in the hell did. And I filmed you guys a bonus ride on the ultra rare HP2 Sport. So thank you guys for sticking around. So yeah, so if you guys are coming in live new, we are working on the RS660 today. We've got the Spider rear sets going on just perfectly. They're really actually going in well. So you guys have some questions about the wall of dang. I call it the wall of dang. Let me bring this up for you guys just a little bit here on my, if you guys can see it here. So the wall of dang is basically all of my crashes that I've experienced over the years. And the black BMW with the number 24 on there, that's my 2011 BMW S1000. That was my very last crash. And the reason why that was my last crash is it was a 120-mile-an-hour crash at Thunderhill before I knew how to ride. And it kind of made me realize that I need to slow down, ride within my limits, which I was riding way over my limits. And so yeah, so this is before I knew how to ride. So 2012 was my very last crash. So I'm very happy of that. So if you guys haven't seen, the Like-A-Palooza is on right now. We would love you guys to smash that like button. How many likes do we have right now?
45.
Well, we need more likes than that because this is Like-A-Palooza right now. So go ahead and smash that like button for me. But things are going really, really well over here on. She always thinks I'm jinxing it, but
you jinx it. You jinx it always.
I always
like the tractor. You're like, we had no crashes, and then bada boom, bada bam.
I got my cappuccino. All right. I'm going to be back to my install video, so I'll be back with you guys in just a few moments. If you guys would feel like asking any questions, go ahead and type them in the comment section below, and Bogna will relay them to me, and we'll get them answered. Oh, there was another question. Sorry. Wall of dang, and then what?
Which bike is the easiest and most rewarding to work on that you've been working on so far?
I will say this might come as a small shock to you guys. I really enjoyed working on the Street Fighter. The Street Fighter, being that I'm almost done with it, I can say I didn't have any problems with that bike. I don't think, babe, did I scream at all on that thing? I mean, the Bonamici rear sets were horrible to put together, but working on the Street Fighter, it takes more time. But Ducati put that bike together so well. It just I don't know. I really enjoyed it. So, all right, you guys hit all your Like-A-Paloozas. Comment down below. Do you guys like this style live stream where we've got kind of a couple different camera views for you guys? But the Bogna cam, you guys wanted to see more Bogna. So she's still around. I'm keeping her for a little while longer. I love you, babe. All right, so we're gonna get back to the install on this and button this up. So you guys are taking a little bit of my time up, but it's all right. I love you guys. So all right, so we're back to the install video. All right, so now that we have the bolt threaded through and it's all the way through to the other side, make sure that the rear set is set in the notch is set so it's to the back, because when you tap this all the way through, you're going to need to get that notch set in the rear of the rear set. Also, you're going to notice that this popped out at some point in life. This is the spacer that's going to go in between the rear set and your bottom bolt, along with your bottom bolt, which we're going to put a dab of Loctite on, and then go ahead and throw this spacer back here and thread our bolt through. And we'll go ahead and get this lightly tightened up, which will secure our rear set just a little bit more. All right, so we've left this just a little bit loose to be able to play with this. Now we're ready for our master. So what we're going to do is go ahead and grab our master here. And we've got the 2 bolts that are going to hold the master on. So we're going to remove these 2 bolts. And add a little bit of Loctite onto each of the bolts. And reinsert them with a 4mm. Bolt number 1. And then bolt number 2. Then we're going to grab our little retaining clip. The retaining clip is going to go into the back, which should just slide right into your Brake Master plunger. And once that slides through both sides, we're going to go ahead and grab our pick, grab our little rubber O-ring and put it up and over that clip to make sure that that clip doesn't come out. So you're going to see we're going to work that O-ring around it and make sure the clip doesn't come out of our brake. All right, so what I've used is just a little Allen wrench just to kind of make it nice and soft. I actually went through the bolt and tapped that all the way in. And I'll give you guys a nice little view inside here. So you're going to see the half moon cutout is to the back, okay? And it's all the way in, so you're going to actually see this is pretty secure. This is still loose. This is still loose, but everything else is nice and tight. You can see we've got brake. You can hear the brake actuator. And so now we can move on to the other side.
Intermission?
Quick intermission. I'm going to change batteries real quick and then get back on this. But questions, comments?
James is asking, what do you guys, what do we do when we're not writing, making videos? Sleeping?
Yeah, Wagner sleeps. So this is a hobby of mine. Wagner doesn't like this hobby. Wagner's hobby is horseback riding.
Bill doesn't like this hobby.
But on the beach near sunsets without Bill. Yeah, I don't. So Wagner trains horses as a side. So it really actually doesn't cost you money. She's made it so it doesn't cost her money anymore to be the hobby.
More like that.
Babe, I'm working on it right now. We've got a kind of a garage full of motorcycles that you guys are helping us pay for. So thank you. So the hobby is starting to pay for itself too. But so yeah, those are our hobbies. Wagner is, what's your official new title? Because you just got a promotion.
Principal Product Manager.
Principal Product Manager for GSM, the Game Show Network. If you guys haven't downloaded the app, Solitaire Tri-Peaks, download it, and it's a blast of a game. It's addictive. So when you guys download that app, let me get you over here. When you guys download that app, make sure when you guys see all the little messages, if you spend $1.99 right now, you can get a couple volcanoes. That's Bogna's job. Bogna gets you to spend that $1.99, because once that $1.99 goes away, now it's $2.99 to get the same volcanoes. And then next thing you know, obviously we won't know any usernames, but you had a user spend how much in one drop?
Let's not talk about that.
20?
Let's not talk about
it. 50?
Babe, let's not talk about it.
A lot of money. There's a K behind that. But there's some people that love that game. So Solitaire Tri-Peaks, 49 people. Like-a-Palooza is back on while I try to figure the rest of this thing out. Smash the like button for us, guys. It's part of the algorithm. It's very nice to have that. All right.
49 likes.
49 likes. Up. All right. So we need that. So
just don't lose that.
Don't go there. That goes there. That goes there. That goes there. That goes there. We're working, guys. We're working. All right. So can I continue?
Yep.
All right. All right, so now we're going to be working on our clutch side, our shifter side, and you can see we've already got our bolt through. So with this, there is a couple things we're going to need to make sure we are aware of. This thin washer goes in here, in between the rear set and the bolt. Then this is going to slide on. You're going to have a big spacer washer with a little cone on it. The cone goes inside along with the bolt. So you're going to see the little bevel, it goes inside, the bolt goes on top, and then we can get this screwed in. Now, unlike the other side, our spacer that's here is actually our kickstand. So as we put this on for a quick moment, just to kind of get it started, our kickstand bolt will go here, but we're going to go ahead and just add a dab of Loctite, which there wasn't any on there, but I'm going to put a dab on there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and thread this one through and kind of get everything set up. And we'll go ahead and start threading this all the way through with our 13 millimeter, just to kind of get it set. We don't want to tighten it all the way yet, just enough to set it in. And then go ahead and grab our 24 millimeter and go ahead and start threading this on, which is going to push this rear set on there. Nice, very nice. Now, I actually bought this 24 socket. It's a 12 point and it's thin wall. I got this at one of the auto parts store. I actually had a 24-inch socket. That's an impact socket, but it was too thick to go in there. So if you do have a socket that doesn't go in there, just to confirm, it is a 24 millimeter for the big bolt. All right, so for the shifter rod, what I like to do is I like to undo the ends all the way so they're just threaded, because as you insert it into the shifter and you start to twist it, it's actually going to twist both ends into the rod. So you kind of get an equal twisting, I guess you can call it. So you can see it's tightening down here, it's tightening up here. And then, of course, once we get this mounted and back in its right position, which is about right there, perfect. Ooh, that was actually perfect. And then you'll see that we're able to lock these down with our two nuts. So we want to make sure that we've got enough threaded into the shifter now. So we'll lock that one down, and we'll go ahead and go into our shifter. And now we've got shifter movements, so very nice. So this might just take some fine-tuning adjustment. So fine-tuning time.
I'll be right back. Need more talks.
So sometimes for you guys here, I'll turn off your Like-A-Palooza. Thank you guys for the Like-A-Palooza. Sometimes when we do these installs, I'll do a take and then I'll find out that I could have done it a different way. So so this will be take 2, because now I know what I'm talking about because I figured it out. So if you guys don't see this, there's always a learning curve on working, especially on so many different bikes. If I was only working on Aprilia RS660s and doing this install, like I know, but obviously every bike is different. So yeah, so sometimes there's a learning curve. So thank you guys for supporting me. All right, so what we've done is we've gone ahead and threaded in our shifter threads, thread them all the way into the shifter, place your shifter back into its original home position, and then what you're going to do is go ahead and start threading both sets of bolts on. So we'll see. And then once we start to get that threaded on there, and we get it threaded, as we work it together, this is actually going to bring everything together. And now we can adjust the height of the shifter, which I'm going to probably go with. That looks good right there. And then we can use our locking nuts. We're going to lock both the shifter side, the shift rod, and then the eyelet down there. So we'll go ahead and tighten the locking bolts just right up against the shifter here. So tighten that just by hand. Tighten this by hand. Make sure that we like it. And then once we're tightened, then we'll go ahead and put the bolt on there and tighten everything to make sure this doesn't move. So we're going to grab two 10 millimeters. We're going to put one 10 millimeter on the actual block shift rod, and then the other 10 millimeter on the nut. And we're going to tighten that nut against the shift rod so it doesn't move. And then the same thing down here. Very important to make sure that this is tight because you don't want this to come loose and come out. So you can see we've got a nice shifter here, and we still have to put the bolt in here. Don't forget this bolt, but we're just going to make sure everything is all good before we tighten everything up, inspect it, and do the final look at it. So again, don't forget the little shift bolt there, and we'll go ahead and get that in there and tight. And then we're going to snug up our two lowers now. And then this side. And we should see on this side, there should just be a little play here, which is because we haven't tightened that. So we're going to go ahead and get the bolt tightened on the other side. And then we've got the adjustment of the foot peg, and then we're going to go ahead and Loctite these down. Everything else is Loctite, and we're pretty much ready to wrap this thing up. All right, so that.
Oh, are you doing intermission?
Not intermission yet.
Okay.
Just wrap this thing up real quick. All right, so being that we don't have the torque specs for this particular bike, we're somewhat kind of making it up, but what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead with the lower bolt of about 35 foot-pounds on each side, and then the big bolt, we're going to be tightening that down to 100. And again, that number is really just by feel of when I broke that bolt off, kind of how much pressure it took the bolt to break the bolt off. This one took actually 100 foot-pounds of torque to break that thing loose. All right, so now we're ready to tighten this. I said 100 foot-pounds earlier. I actually broke it off at 100 Newton meters. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing tight at 100 Newton meters. All right, so 100 Newton meters is what I've put here, and these two I did 34 Newton meters. All right, so we're going to go ahead and remove each one of the bolts here, add a little bit of Loctite. I just wanted to make sure that these were left loose just in case we needed to move them. A little bit of Loctite on the heel guard, number one. And number two. And then the other side, number one. And then the other side, number one. Number two. And then back over here, we're just going to confirm that these are nice and tight. Yes, these are the bolts we put in earlier. Make sure that those are tight. Make sure that you're back here. Of course, this one is still not tight, so we're going to be able to adjust this peg. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and tighten it right in the middle, at the middle stance, just for now. But we'll adjust that later. Make sure, obviously, that's in with the half moon. Make sure that the 13 millimeters down here with your spacer. Make sure you've got your spacer in there. And then back over here, we're just going to confirm these two bolts are nice and tight. Yes. Yes. 100 Newton meters, 34 Newton meters. Make sure your kickstand's in there. If you're doing a kickstand eliminator, you are going to need a bolt there. Obviously, make sure that everything is nice and tight. I like it. And we'll clean up and take a final look. All right, you guys. So let me clean up and then I'll bring you guys down and show you guys the final product. But man, I mean, they look, babe, do you like them?
They look really rad.
They look sick. They look really, really good. I'm happy with how they look. So, so just clean up all my little mess here. Make sure that we're ready for our next little thing. I'm just going to keep most of these tools out because I'm sure that we'll use them again today.
Do you have your velocity stacks out?
Velocity stacks, I do have them here.
Can you show them off?
Yeah.
I was asking what they were for, and
All right.
it's been answered in the meantime in the chat that it's to alter airflow, but if you could show them off.
So these are by a company called Carbonsmith. And velocity stacks go in the air box. The velocity stacks, I think that we're going to take out our rubber so they kind of flex, so they'll move. These are hard 3D printed carbon stacks. You're going to see that there's two sizes. There's a small and a large. The larger one goes on from the back, the right side of the bike. This is going to go on the left side of the bike. And during testing, now this is all clean. Now I really wanted to get these on while we dynoed it. I wanted to do a dyno before and I wanted to do a dyno after, but unfortunately we couldn't sync up with the dyno. So we're going to get them installed today, and then we'll do a final dyno after everything is installed and once we get the bike tuned. So the velocity stacks alter how the air comes into the bike. And with the DNA air filter, it should allow more air in, which is going to create more horsepower, which is going to create more air out, which we're going to have to get out later with the SC Project exhaust. So velocity stacks alter the air intake into the inbox, into the throttle body, into the motor. So, and then of course the DNA air filter is here. Let's take a look at what the DNA air filter looks like. So almost transparent. So kind of small. So the air filter. The air filter and velocity stacks is the next video, so stay tuned if you guys are sticking around. Not bad. So an hour and 30 minutes on me messing around on this install. So honestly, I mean, this is probably if I wouldn't have had you guys, not that I don't mind you guys here, but you know, it's about an hour install. So actually relatively easy install. So. You guys, so let me grab
Oh, and they wanted to see the dimples close up. Did you show them?
The dimples close up here. So the dimples are designed to disrupt the air, I guess, to make sure that it goes in. I don't know. The guy,
it's like a golf ball.
Yeah, it's like a golf ball. Yeah. So the guy that through Carbonsmith, he said that they tested large stacks, small, large on each side with dimples and without dimples. And they said, and he basically said this produced the most cleaned 7 horsepower. So let me give you guys a nice little view here of the rear set on the brake side. And you can hear the clicking. So we've got a brake switch. We do have a brake switch over here. So very nice. So now we've got our HSBK stuff over here. Very cool. And then as we swing around here, we've got, again, HSBK. Oh, I forgot to put the sprocket cover on. I might do that real quick and just have it magically appear. So, very nice.
Do any of those mods kill warranty? Our favorite warranty question.
Warranty questions. Here, I should. So next time we'll do a ticker box that says, all mods void warranties per the dealer. You guys email me a lot and text me a lot. Feel free. The best way to get a hold of me is most likely either email, calimototv@gmail.com, or you guys can text me over on Instagram at the Cali Moto. That's usually the best. Most people just text me at Instagram. A lot of questions about, hey, I went to the dealer and the dealer said if I install my aero exhaust, it will void my warranty, but they will charge you 5 hours worth of labor to put on that aero exhaust for you, and it won't void your warranty, which is bullshit. Dealers make more money by charging you, the customer, for warranty work than they do for Aprilia or Ducati. So anything, they'll find any reason, right? You know what? It's Wednesday at noon. This isn't covered under your warranty. They'll find any reason to void your warranty. Will this mod void your warranty? Yes, it will. Will doing the rear sets void your warranty? Yes, it will. Because Aprilia is going to find any reason, a dealer is going to find any reason to say, you didn't torque that bolt down correctly, even though I did. You know, the swing arm, there's an issue with the chain or something like that, or the motor. I mean, per California law, it says that they have to be able to prove that the replacement of a part directly contributed to the issue of the warranty, okay? So if you put an exhaust on and you blow your motor, they have to prove to you that the motor or the exhaust caused the catastrophic failure of your motor. The problem is that they're going to say no, and you're going to have to fight them, and it's going to have to go to court. And I mean, so I just don't work with warranties. I basically realize that the warranty is going to be null and void. I also work with dealers that are very good with me on my warranties. So that's the biggest thing, is to have a good relationship with your service department for your warranties, because warranties are tough. You know,
I mean, look at the Fiasco ST, right?
Yeah.
That was a brand new car, fully on the warranty, and they were not fixing it.
Yeah, Fiasco ST, if you guys haven't seen that, go back. It's an early video. Bought 2019 Fiesta ST, 90 miles on it. 90 miles! And the thing was leaking like a sieve inside the car. It was lemoned out with less than 300 miles on it. And it took 3 months, 4 months before we could get out of that car. So the biggest pain in the ass, and we hadn't even touched the car. Literally, it was the third day Bogdan had driven to the ranch for 2 or 3 days, and I had come out and noticed that there was condensation in the inside of the car. And it was February. It was like right about now. And I found the leak, and it was a pain in the ass. So yeah, so warranties a tough situation. So yeah, so
be stubborn.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be the squeaky wheel. If you're just gonna roll over for the company, then yeah, it's just gonna be an issue. So all right, let me wrap this video up, and then we'll take a quick intermission. My coffee's ready again, so I'm gonna go do that. But I'm gonna do a quick outro on this and wrap up this particular video, get things cleaned up, get the bike off everything, and then we'll start working on the velocity stacks and air filter install, which should be pretty quick. Take the tank off, take the cover off, take the stacks off, put the stacks on, air filter in, tank on. We're ready to roll.
Famous last words.
Famous last words. Yes. All right, so we've got our rear sets on. Here is our brake side, and very nice. The brake switch is in there. You can actually hear the clicking of the brake switch. Everything is very nice here. So remember, you've got a spacer back here. Bolt goes through with the half moon on the back side. See, everything is nice. I still haven't Loctited this down, but I'm not sure that the foot position, but everything else is Loctited on this side. And then over to this side, we've got, again, everything Loctited down. 100 Newton meters is what I broke this bolt off at. So I basically tightened it back down to 100 Newton meters. These I put at about 34 Newton meters. Again, remember your kickstand is here for the spacer. If you're eliminating your kickstand, you're going to need a spacer there. But nice and shifty. You can see our bike's still hanging, so that's why it's wobbling. But very easy install. You guys have been live with me, so thank you guys for sticking around. If you guys are live here, again, thank you guys. I would say about an hour install for this. So honestly, not a bad. It actually went very, very smooth. Now that I'm done with it, I can say it. Bogna doesn't like when I say stuff like that because she's like, you're ruining it. But thank you guys for sticking around. Do the normal. Hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and ring the bell notification for future content because we have more videos coming out today. We have the DNA air filter and the velocity stacks going on, so stay tuned for that video. We also have our SC Project exhaust going on, so stay tuned for that video. We have our EvoTech radiator guards and spools going on, so stay tuned for that video. And then, of course, once we get everything done, we'll be back on the dyno to give you guys some dyno numbers of the velocity stacks, air filter, and exhaust. So stay tuned. But thank you guys for sticking around, and we'll see you next video. Bye, guys. All right. I don't know. So I don't know if you guys, if that was it's a little behind the scenes, I guess, right?
Did you ever get the front sprocket figured out?
Front sprocket, I did not. I have not figured out. Actually, I'm going to wait to do the front sprocket cover. I actually have the sprocket cover here, which is actually really cool. So, spider sprocket cover. Apparently, they do have a sprocket for it. I just ordered the wrong one, so I didn't. So the front sprocket is still stock. I do want to go down one tooth in the front and see. I feel like this bike, I don't need 135 miles an hour. Honestly, it was like when I got up to 100 on this bike, I was like content with it because there's not much more above that anyways. But I want a little bit more drive out of the corners. So I wanted to feel a little bit more pep. That's what one tooth down in the front will do for you guys. So I will get that ordered up from HSBK soon. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll swap that out, but it's good. So let me go relieve my coffee and get this thing down, and we'll start working on the DNA filter. Let's get a Smash-A-Palooza for the 42 people. Smash the like button, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll be back. You guys have any questions, comment down below, and Bogna will get them to me before we wrap things up here, get the bike down, and start on the next video.
Where you going?
Coffee time.
Oh. Do I get one too? As you were walking out, I asked, do I get coffee too? And you just ran out. And so Bob goes like, I guess that's a no on the coffee.
Sorry, Bob, wrong kind of coffee. My body brews coffee as well. So, all right, so go ahead and lift this bike back up.
There was a fresh baby at the ranch.
Ooh, babies at the ranch.
Peach. Well,
Wait, what?
Peach?
Peach. Wait, the horse Peach?
Yeah.
Wait, she had a baby?
Yeah.
Wait, does she normally have babies?
No.
Oh. It's her first baby.
Yes.
Oh. Oh, little
Can't
Peachy.
wait to see it. Fresh out of the oven. Also, Andrew Douglas says, FYI, factory manual specs, the swing on board pivot bolt at 110 Newton meters. Seems high, but that's what it's in the book.
It was, well, thank you. I almost asked, who was that, Andrew?
Yeah.
Andrew, can you get me torque, Andrew, thank you. Can you give me torque specs for this bike? Maybe make a spreadsheet. I'd love to be able to distribute it to everybody. We have a torque spec sheet for the Ducatis, and I get emails a couple times a week asking for it. So Andrew, if you can get me these torque specs, that's great. I will make sure in that video that I put 110, and I'll check it right now and add another 10 Newton meters. But I will say, when I broke it off, it took 100 to break it off. So to put on 110 sounds about right. So I'll throw that on real quick. Add another 10. Thank you, Andrew. All right. Next up.
He said the factory maintenance manual is available for download at AF1 Racing under $9.
Done. I'll take it. Who's donating me $9? Wait. So last time we did. Who was that? Someone didn't like the cleaner. That he asked what kind of cleaner I used, and I said I used the Ethos Defy, and he donated he did a $10 little donation down there, and to buy, what do you want me to buy? Motul cleaner?
Oh, yeah.
Whoever sent me that money, sorry I didn't spend your money on that. I put it towards the mods. All right. So like most videos, what I do as when I'm doing install videos for you guys, I always kind of take a view. Sometimes it'll actually be generally, I think the tank is a pretty straightforward removal. So sometimes what I do is actually, like, the levers and stuff, I'll actually take everything off, remove the lever, put the new one on, kind of test fit everything. That way it looks like I know what I'm talking about when I'm doing the videos for you guys. But this looks like it's a pretty straightforward answer here. So yeah, so we're going to be removing the tank and then removing the airbox cover, which will expose our filter. We'll remove the cover, which will expose our velocity stacks, and then we'll install the velocity stacks, install the filter, put the cover back on, get the tank back on, get a quick little start, and then move on to, well, all right. So I have a little confession. Who's here? How many people are here?
40.
All right. So you guys are going to be mad at me right now. I haven't told you guys. And I know a lot of you guys are here for the SE Project exhaust. I am not, watch it just drop off, babe. I'm not installing the SE Project today. And the reason is because I was actually notified by 2 different tuners last night. Don't put the SE Project on until we have it. The bike runs very, very, very lean. So much that one of the tuners, Gabriel from, I think he's in Europe, he's been building, he's the bike that, you guys know it. If you guys are following the 660, especially on the Facebook forums, you guys know this gentleman. And he said when he ran his bike on the dyno, the bike was actually pinging quite a lot. So I am holding off on the install on the SE Project. Here's the reason. The bikes are street bikes, so we've got this bike out for you guys, but we have track day coming up end of the month at March 29th, I think. Some 29th, Monday. We're going to be down at Buttonwillow for the Aprilia track day event, which is an RS660 only test event. So we're going to be able to test the Tuono for you guys. So at the end of the month, we've got a video for the Tuono 660, but we're going to be taking the Tuono, or the RS660. We're going to be taking both the Ducatis and the Tuono factory down with us to be riding that for track day. So stay tuned because we're going to have some more track day content for you guys. So with that being said, I am not, how many people left? A couple people left. They're like, FC project's not going on. I'm out of here. I know you guys want to hear it. Trust me, it has been painful. You guys, it has been painful to have this thing sit here for the last 2 weeks. But like I said, look at the massive outlet for this thing. But I've been told not to put it on. So I am.
Since when do you listen to people?
I mean, look, if someone tells me installing this is going to mess up your bike, I'm not going to install it, right? So we're going to wait for a tune. But I'm also told that tunes are very, very close. So we might have this installed before we go to Button Willow. I hope so, because I can't wait to hear this thing. I really can't. So I'm going to go ahead and start another video for you guys. So if you guys are just coming into the videos, I know some people are coming and going. We're actually shooting install videos today. So today we've already shot the Spider rear set video. So that will come out in 2 weeks. And then I'm going to be shooting the air filter. So this week, we have 3 bonus videos coming out this week. All week, this is bonus video week. 3 different bikes in the collection. We have the V4S Street Fighter. That was pretty dope. That thing is, I love that thing. It just sounds, the soundtrack on that is amazing. We also have a bonus ride for the Multistrada V4S, which was not very exciting, but it was a fun little ride. So that's a bonus ride. And then for you guys that are just coming that didn't hear me say this, Officer Perez pulled me over 2 weeks ago on the HP2 Sport, and I released that video, and I did not listen to Officer Perez as he left and told me to slow down, because I proceeded to go to Turtle Rock and shoot you guys a sweet bonus video on the HP2 Sport. I never exceeded the speed limit of 35 miles an hour because he told me I couldn't. So 3 bonus rides this week. So the following week, we will start producing the content on the RS660. We'll get you guys some rides and stuff like that. So bring you guys all up to speed. So I'm going to be shooting an intro on the velocity stacks and air filter. Test. Hey everyone, I'm Bill. I'm with Cali Moto TV. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the garage, and welcome the 2021 RS660 is here on the lift with a live studio audience. The first time we're actually streaming live right now during this install video for you guys. So make sure you guys do the normal. Hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and then ring that bell notification, because doing that is going to give you guys future notifications of live streams like this. I've been actually having a fun time. Barbara is here with us in addition. I don't know, are you having fun?
I'm having fun.
It's kind of a fun little different thing. But today we've already shot a Spider rear set video. So if you guys haven't seen that, we'll link that up above. But right now we are going to get ready to install the new DNA air filter into the RS660, along with the Carbonsmith velocity stacks. And now I will tell you guys, I really wanted to get this thing on the dyno prior and then install them and get the claim of the 7 horsepower, but we just haven't been able to sync everything up. So we're going to get them installed today. We also have, if you guys see back here, we have an SC Project exhaust that will go on at a future time once we get tunes. And once we have everything done, we already know that this produced about 88 wheel horsepower. We'll get it back on the dyno and test it. But without further ado, let's take a look at the Carbonsmith velocity stacks. So these are a claimed 7 horsepower velocity stacks as the bike sits. So we're going to see if we can get that as a noticeable gain. And then we've got our DNA air filter, which is going to go in. So we've got to first remove the rear seat. Then we're going to remove the rider's seat. And once we're done there, that's going to expose us to this bolt, which is our tank bolt, along with removing the front here, because I believe there's a bolt here, which is holding the tank. We'll remove the tank, and once the tank is removed, we'll get these things installed. So stay tuned, and let's get the chesty cam on and get this thing removed, installed, and we'll get you guys to fire up and see how this thing sounds. I think it's going to sound actually pretty good, because this has been a very intake sounding bike. So let's get them installed.
Can we get this going? Because Bob is freezing on the blankets.
Yeah, hang on. All right.
Have you ever DB tested the exhaust of the Aprilia and the Street Fighter?
So no, but so this week I had Stefano, not Stefano from Moto Wheels, but a viewer actually. Hang on, let me get this. I'll get over and talk to you guys here in a second. So I had a viewer, local viewer / friends of Spencer, hit me up, and we installed a aero exhaust on his Street Fighter, and went pretty well. We also put some new brakes on his bike. So if you guys are local and you guys need some help, let me know. But minor stuff. His wife was here, Lauren, and we started revving his bike, and her Apple Watch went off. Apparently, her Apple Watch had a noise decibel alert, and I think we peaked her watch out at 119 decibels. Now, mind you, she was this far from the bike, but pretty funny.
So it will blow Sonoma.
Well, yeah, but you know, that's sound is, yes, it will blow Sonoma. I mean, that's Sonoma and Laguna, definitely Laguna. So yeah, so Like-A-Palooza time?
Yes.
Like-A-Palooza.
We're at 58 likes.
58. All right. Here.
I still think the V4 sounds the best.
The Tuono?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Tuono, I mean, I'll give it to you. The Tuono sounds good. I think when it's running, I think like on track, I think the Ducati sounds better. At idle and revving, the Tuono sounds better.
Oh. Which bike do you think will do best in Button Willow?
Now that I've got the Street Fighter figured out, yeah, because you know I figured it out. See, I always was saying that the Tuono, but remember the last session at Chuckwalla, I changed the suspension setting and like turned up the wheelie control. Oh, I had a blast on that bike. I love that bike. I love my bike.
So. Are we doing clockwise or counterclockwise? Do you know?
I think it's standard.
So clockwise?
Yeah, I think so.
I like it counterclockwise better. I don't know why. It makes more sense to me.
Counterclockwise? We're going standard, so we're going counterclockwise.
No, we're going clockwise.
No. Oh yeah, clockwise. Yeah, clockwise. Sorry, I started from the bottom. Yeah. Sorry, love.
But I like it the other way better. Because the other way you don't have to deal with that sunset or sunrise or whatever the frick that turn is. The bumpy.
You mean like 3 or whatever that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that one myself. All right, so let me get into.
How many horsepower do you expect to get after this changes with the map?
So with the map, exhaust, and the velocity stacks and air filter, my goal is 100 wheel horsepower, which I think is, I've told people that and they're like, oh, yeah, no problem. The claim on just the velocity stacks and the air filter together is like 8 or maybe 9 is what the claim is. So with this exhaust, there's no way that I'm not going to get another 4 horsepower out of an exhaust. So,
wait, so how much does the dyno at?
88 or 87.8 or something like that. So I need 12 horsepower, 13 horsepower to put me over 100 wheel horsepower. And we've got 7 or 8 here. So 5 more on the exhaust with the tune. Now there's word. There's been some talk of an RS660 factory. They're not calling it a factory. They're calling it something else.
RF.
The RF. And the claim is 120 horsepower. So that means that this bike has to have more. And it just makes sense that it has more. I think it's been severely detuned. So is what I personally think.
Do you want to turn that off?
Yeah,
I don't know how to, so just
cut it down. Are you warm?
I mean, I can keep it going, but I don't want to continue with it.
Yeah, thank you. All right, I'll turn your Palooza off. All right, so we're going to be filming the video here, so stand by. All right, so the removal of the tank should be an 8mm here, and then your 4mm to remove this tank cover, and then we'll see what's underneath that. So first, let's go ahead and remove the tank cover here, which is a 4mm bolt number 1. And then bolt number 2. All right, so this should be free, so we're going to go ahead and pull this off from the factory. All right, so we're going to leave that there for now so we know where that goes. And it looks like we have 2 8mm here, which is 3 8mm to remove the tank. So we'll go ahead and remove the back 8, number 1. And number 2. So there's 2 vents in the back and a plug in the back. So everything is all in the back. All right, so with the 3 8mm, now you have a loose tank, and let's see if we can get in there. You're going to notice right here on this side, there are 2 hoses right there, which are kind of preventing us from going up, and then you'll see the fuel inlet hose right here, along with the plug for the gauge is there. So you're going to lift this up just enough to kind of access in there and get everything unplugged. I would throw a towel down here to catch any fuel that may spill out here. So we're going to stuff towel down there, and then once that's all in there, then we'll pull the tank off. All right, so with those 2 vent hoses off, now we can actually lift this up, and you can see we have our fuel line here, which will pop off the yellow clip here. Which then will slide this thing and unlock it. Pesky little thing.
Oh, babe, we were at the track day apparently 4 years ago.
All right, so what you're going to have to do is push the little tab in, the yellow tab, and then on the other side of the yellow tab, there's a little black clip. You're going to push the little black clip, and that's going to undo the fuel line. These are done, and then the fuel gauge line is adapted on the bottom, and then this should be free. So on this side of the bike, you'll see that the fuel gauge clip is here. Once you get that popped off, we should be free and the tank should just come off. All right. So we'll bring you guys over real quick to show you the inside of the bike without the tank off. So you can see here. So this is, it's actually really not actually going to be that hard to get the rear shock off. I mean, it's kind of a pain in the ass, you got to get the tank off, but it looks like we've got some accessibility in here for the rear shock. So here's where we're working right now. You guys can see that. So the air box, so we've got, I don't know, a dozen screws around here, which is going to take our air box off. Once we get the air box off, then we'll see the filters. Below the filters, then I'll bring you guys back over and show you guys the inside of the velocity stacks. All right. All right, so now we have the tank off, and you can see we've exposed the air box. This is where we're working for both the air filter and the velocity stacks. If you guys are only doing the air filter, this is basically, once we replace the air filter, that's it. You can button it up. We're going to be replacing the velocity stack. So you're going to see right here, there's about a dozen screws that are holding the box in. So we're going to head and pull those all off. All right, so with a handful of screws, set this aside, and now our air box should be free. Be careful, please be careful of the little adapter. We don't need to take this off, but please be careful. And here we are. So here's our air filter. So our air filter will just basically come forward and slide it up. Oh, looks like there's actually a little tab there, so pull the tab out. So this would come out here, so it slides in there. Slide this out, pull the filter out, so paper filter. And then we're going to go ahead and slide the new filter in and slide the locking piece in, and your air filter is done. If you guys are only changing your air filter, then we'll go ahead and put the box on and button things up. We are going to be working on the velocity stacks. So you can see the velocity stacks are here. They are hard velocity stacks, and we're replacing these with our two Carbonsmith ones. So we're going to be pulling these off and replacing them with this. All right, I'll bring you guys over here in a second. I just want to clean a couple bees in there. So interesting. So that goes.
Are you killing off bees, babe? We need the bees.
I don't kill bees if I can. So it goes through the frame. So all right. So so you guys know the front frame is open. The airbox shoves through. I'll bring you guys here in a second. It shoves through, and then the plastic piece up front kind of goes down and then out with the two inlets. So I can see that someone's going to come out with a bigger air box that's probably going to have a bigger dam in there. I would assume, honestly, if the high beam headlight wasn't there, almost like an R6, you know, it has the big intake. If we lost that, we could go straight into the air box, which would be a lot more air in. So here, so I'll bring you guys back over real quick. And so you guys can see here's the air box. So these are the velocity stacks that we're replacing. So we have one large, one small. Okay, large, small. And then air filter goes here. So the stock air filter came out. So our air filter fits in there. And then it's got this little locking thing that goes in there that holds that air filter in. So the DNA air filter is pre-oiled. It's not oiled very much, but it is pre-oiled. So we don't need to oil that anymore. So we're going to go ahead and pull these off and then get these on there. Actually, the stacks actually look like they're smaller, which is probably the big benefit, because you can see the height of these, you know, are about a ½ inch shorter on the big one. So put you guys back here. Plug you guys in real quick. Where are we at? 36 of y'all. There we go. Let's plug in. All right. So, hey, what's up?
It's Pie Day when you eat pie.
Oh, it's Pie Day and it's Sunday.
Are you gonna bake pie?
Pi, the square root of 72 minus 3 equal 9 plus 7, 60.
So what are we gonna do with pies? We should have pie.
I'm down. What are we gonna have? All right, comment down. Like a Palooza. If you guys are just coming in, the reason why we got the chesty cam on, obviously we're filming an actual install video of the velocity stacks in the air filter. So just bring you guys up to speed. Question of the day is, what kind of pie are we going to have today with Pie Day? So comment down below. Let us know what your favorite pie is. Please do not put pumpkin pie, because those will be immediately deleted.
What's wrong with pumpkin pie? I love pumpkin pie.
Here's the thing with pumpkin pie. I'm not even going to just say it, but just look up Cedric the Entertainer. No, Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac and pumpkin pie. Type in Google Bernie Mac pumpkin pie, and then you'll understand why. Bob is doing it right now. Are you?
No.
I'm going to go with, I feel like coconut cream pie today.
All right, I'm down. Caramel drizzle.
Caramel drizzle, baby.
Extra caramel. Where do we get coconut cream pie from?
So that's going to be.
Oh, nugget?
No. Oh, you know who had pies? No, they didn't have pie. Nations. Nations has pie. But I don't know where Nations is. Nations is like an In-N-Out. It's like the OG In-N-Out. And they have pies. Coco's has pie too. Coco's restaurant, they used to have pie.
Where is it, Coco's? I have no idea what any of those are, babe.
I honestly
been shut down for 20 years.
Honestly, I think also the Nut Tree, the little breakfast place. The little breakfast place that we used to go. Nut tree, the oak tree or walnut tree.
I think you're mixing up with me.
No, the little breakfast place. They're only open for like till 3, and we used to go there for, you know, they've got the little country store in the beginning. You're tripping. We've been there.
Oh, Blackbird Diner?
But no, Black Oak. Black Oak.
Oh yeah.
Black Oak Diner. Blackbird Diner has pies. All right, I'm gonna get to my video, so stand by. All right, so we're going to be removing the velocity stack. So 4 millimeter bolt on each of the velocity stacks. So 1, 2, which removes your short velocity stack. And then your large velocity stack, bolt number 1. So for this side, you're going to probably need an extension Allen, 4 millimeter, bolt number 1. Bolt number 2. And now our large velocity stack is off. So now we can kind of get a good comparison of the size difference between the velocity stacks. The Carbonsmiths are actually quite a bit smaller than the velocity stacks that came off the bike. Interesting. And then, sorry guys, I gotta borrow you. I am confirming all right. Sorry, bring you guys back. Sorry, I was confirming on the picture just to make sure that there wasn't any changes. All right.
I think they are a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right, so you're going to take out the retaining bolts. There's actually little clips on these which keep them from popping out. So you guys have to be careful with popping them out here. And then we'll go ahead and put that in there. Put that in there, perfect fit. And then go ahead and screw our first velocity stack in. So our shorter stack on the right, bolt number 1, bolt number 2, So we'll get these bolts nice and snug. I don't want to go too much. I don't want to break. Obviously, this is carbon fiber printing, but I don't want to break them. But yeah, it looks good. So we'll go ahead and move over to the big side. All right, so for the big side, we have to use a Allen key. The socket doesn't go through, so we're going to go bolt number 1 and bolt number 2. All right, so we've got both velocity stacks installed. Remember, right side is your small, left side is your large. And then while we're here, we're going to go ahead and clean out the air box just to make sure there's no debris. Put the air filter on and then get ready to button it up. All right.
Are we intermissioning or not yet?
Not yet. I'm going to clean this out real quick. All right, so we're going to go ahead and slide in our air filter, which again, this goes into the box. And then you're going to grab your little locking ring, slide that in. So now we're nice and tight. Go ahead and gently grab your cover, switch it around, and get the air box sealed up, and then put all the screws in. Did I hear it fall? I heard it.
I think it fell into the belly pan.
Thank you. Okay.
So intermission?
Intermission.
All right, so hold on. Did you have to remove the fuel or was there a shut off?
So when you unplug it, there's automatically a little shut-off valve in the fuel tank that doesn't allow it to come off. So no fuel is leaking. No fuel should be leaking. Yeah, so there's always a shut-off valve inside there. So no shut-off valve. Once you unplug it, it doesn't leak out. So.
All right, and then what's your favorite savory pie and what's your favorite sweet pie?
Savory. Define savory.
You like savory, like chicken pot pie and stuff like that.
Oh.
Probably don't eat that.
I don't like peas and chicken pot pie. Give me a chicken pot pie without peas, I'll take it. And then sweet pie, I don't know, apple caramel pie was good, or coconut cream pie. I like coconut cream pie. Coconut cream pie is probably my favorite right now because that's the one I want right now.
And caramel drizzle.
Caramel drizzle.
I love caramel.
All right, so I lost a screw. Darn it.
See, this is how you jinx yourself. Told you.
It didn't fall through. Poop dude. All right, well, let's see if we can find the spare. Solid. Perfect. Good, 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 good. Ready for that, ready for that. Plugs in there. All right, so now we're ready to get the tank. So now we're ready to reinstall the tank. So grab it, set it in the middle here. And we're gonna go ahead and plug in the fuel gauge. Then onto the other side, we'll go ahead and clip in the fuel and clip the yellow towards us. And then we've got two lines. Looks like I can get one breather line on there, and the other one is a little bit tight. So we're gonna have to get in there with not much room. So we're gonna use some needle nose pliers to throw those two vent lines on. All right, so once we have those two on there, we can go ahead and realign the tank back up. All right, so once the tank's on, we're gonna go ahead and tighten our 3 bolts that hold the tank down. And once we just get these bolted down, we're gonna give the bike just a quick start, just to make sure that everything is working with the fuel tank. Make sure we hook that all up. So we'll go ahead and tighten bolt number 1, number 2, and number 3. All right. What we got over here? Anything good?
Just talking about pies.
Oh. So what was the determination? What pie are we getting?
Well, we're gonna get the cream pie, but James is asking what savory pie I like, and I was like, does shepherd's pie count? And he's like, no.
Wait, what's shepherd's pie?
If you won't like it, it has peas in it.
Yeah, but peas is like a chicken pot pie, right?
It also has peas in it.
I mean, but what is
Well,
that?
shepherd's pie is it's different. It's not actually a pie. What are you doing?
Oh, when this thing fell, the I must have. I can't find the washer. Missing a washer. Missing a washer. Oh, there we go.
Also, the whole pipe talk really made me hungry.
I'm hungry too. I kind of wanted breakfast this morning, but by the time I realized that it was time to get rolling.
Babe, I was out like tonight.
Last night?
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're buttoning that up. So I'm gonna get you guys a quick little start. Open this back door. So we don't suffocate ourselves. All right, so. All right. Test. All right, so we have everything buttoned up. All 3 bolts are in there. We're plugged in. So we're just going to go ahead and start the bike just to kind of get a quick little cold start, but just also make sure. Definitely a little bit more front sound down here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and underneath just kind of confirm down here just to make sure we don't have any fuel leaks, but it looks like we're good. And let me just button everything up, and then we'll get an intro or outro for you guys. This popped off. This one goes to that. That's why. How's he looking up there? Find anything good? Good? Pies? Did you find anything good?
Oh. James was, wait, are you filming?
Nope.
James was wondering where the door went out. I was like,
Backyard.
No, he thought, he hoped there was a vortex behind.
Oh no, there's no vortex back there.
Just trash cans.
There's yeah, trash cans. It's just trashy back there. Where's my small? So. Oh, what's going on over there in the...
Still talking about pies. And getting hungrier and hungrier. What you doing?
There's another a rubber washer that I don't see where it goes. Because that one's there, that one's there, that one's there. Looks like it kind of goes up here, but
Did it go somewhere under the tank? There's one on this side. Is there one on the other side?
yeah, no, there's one on each one of here. Oh.
Are we still in intermission?
Yep.
Someone is asking who have tried download Sport Max Q3 Plus on track days.
Yeah, so we kind of left. So we used to ride Q3s, and we
Q3 Pluses.
Q3 pluses, and then we left Q3 pluses and went to the Michelin Power RSs, and the rest is kind of history. We really haven't gone back. So the Power RSs have been discontinued. We've been trying to buy them up as much as we can, finding them wherever we can, but they're starting to get harder. So we're going to either have to go to, well, so what sucks is the Power GPs don't come in a 200 tire.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So then you have to go with the Power or the road, which is kind of like the Power RS. I don't understand what Michelin did, because the Power RS was like here, and then they developed a tire on each side of it, but not a middle one. So they developed one that's more road, and then they developed one that's more track.
The track one doesn't come in the right size.
But the track one doesn't come in a 200 tire, which is really dumb. So, and then I guess then the next step up was like the Power Evo, I think, or something like that.
DOTs.
But that's like a DOT track tire. That's like a few slits in the middle and then nothing on the outside. So, I mean, yeah, so that's kind of lame, but. All right, sorry, I'm like lost track there.
And why is the red LED flashing on your TFT?
It's there. I don't know. Like, I don't want to say it's like an alarm. It's not an alarm, but it's like it is like the theft thing that flashes. I mean, all of the newer bikes have it. The Ducatis also have a red light that flashes on the dash as well. So. I don't know why, like, I'm just like Can't find shit right now. Missing a noun. Where's my noun?
Still intermission?
Yeah.
You want to speak to how the MT09 was on the track that you were always hogging?
I love that bike. That bike changed, the MT09 changed the perspective of my riding. You know, I had the S1000RR and I had all sport bikes. But that was our first kind of, and it really wasn't a hyper.
So the story behind the MT09 was I needed a bike to commute from here to San Francisco and back, and we got the MT09, and then
solely as a commute bike that we're gonna leave stock.
Yes, we're gonna leave it stock. We're not touching it, and then I took it out to ride in the canyons because I was curious how it is. Then we sold the R6.
Yeah, because she had the R6. R6 was primarily her bike. That was like the main bike. And you got the MT09, and once you got the MT09 and you started riding the MT09 on the canyons, the R6 just sat here. That's why we sold the R6, because it just was like, it just wasn't ridden ever again.
We put 16,000 miles on the MT09.
We put a lot of miles on
in a year.
Yeah.
Because it got ridden a lot on the track.
Yep.
It got ridden a lot in the twisties.
Yep.
And it got commuted on.
Yep.
That poor bike sees some shit.
That was a solid bike. So then the only reason why we sold the MT09 was you got the S1000RR or the S1000R, and the S1000R was just a whole nother level of the next level up. And then, so the MT09 just sat because you're like pretty much a one person or one bike person. Since she's gotten the V2, you haven't ridden the Tuono. So, so I rode the Tuono. So anybody wants a Tuono?
What? No, I'm not ready for that yet. I love my V2.
Yes, I'm ready for an outro.
Wow, we're already done?
Yeah.
Wait, are we doing anything else?
No, and that's all for today.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, because the fairings got to come off for the radiator guards, and the fairings have to come off for the exhaust. So I'm going to do that all in one. So yeah, so we're going to kind of wait. So let me knock this little outro out real quick on the velocity stacks. Test. All right, well, there we have it. The velocity stacks have been installed. So here are the stock ones. So it looks like the Carbonsmiths are not only, they're smaller, they're not quite as tall. So I'm not sure if that's playing a role in the horsepower gains that are claimed at 7 horsepower. We also did change the air filter. We took out the paper air filter, and we have a cleanable DNA air filter in it. Bike fired up and seems to be running fine. It sounds like we got a little bit more throat in here now, but we will get it out on the twisties soon for you guys, and we'll do a little review on that. Sorry about the dyno video. I know I really wanted to get the dyno done, but I really wanted to get these things installed. So stay tuned, because once we get the SD project exhaust installed, we will have a full tune on the bike, and then we'll get it dynoed. So make sure you do the normal, hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, ring the bell notification. Notification of the bell is going to tell you guys when future videos come out. But thank you guys for sticking around. And if you guys are live here in the live studio audience, we are streaming for you guys today. So thank you guys for sticking around and watching the behind the scenes making and install of this. But thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next video. Bye, guys. All right. I think that's our day. So again, if you guys are just coming in and you're just hearing that the SC project is not going to be installed, I've been advised greatly by two pretty good sources that the bike really runs lean. So especially installing these things. So here's the velocity stacks. If you guys didn't see the install or the so you can see. So this one's actually kind of like this one is a taller, but it kind of scooped in and then it scooped in, so you can actually see it's got little scoops. And then the paper air filter. So we replaced those, but yeah, I think we got to find some lunch or something. What time is it? 1 o'clock? Not too bad. Is that right? 1 o'clock? Not too bad. Not too bad. 3 hours. So this was, if you guys are interested in the DNA filter to pull everything off, you're probably looking at about 45 minutes, maybe an hour with the velocity stacks. But the velocity stacks were like $250. I'll link them in the video, so make sure you guys are subscribed. The bell notification is going to ring you, obviously, of that. So this video will be out in 2 weeks for the install on that, and then in like 2.5 weeks we'll be in or just over 2 weeks we'll be at Buttonwillow for their track day. So then once we get back from that, hopefully we can get the SE project on. But as soon as I can get a tune for you guys for the SE project, I promise you guys we'll have a video for that, and then we'll do a dyno on the install. And actually, you know, honestly, today's video was really going to be a live stream, just because now we would be starting to tackle that exhaust, and that's probably going to be a 2-hour deal. So we'll do that in another live stream. So it's actually kind of worked out that we kind of broke this thing up. So maybe one weekend we'll get back out here, do another live stream. Thank you guys for sticking around. Any other questions?
Nope.
That's it.
We're just giving some love to the triples.
Let's
do triple back in the collection.
Let's do one final smash the like button palooza. We need to get as many likes as we can on this video. Likes are more important than you guys know. The algorithm, the more you guys like my videos, the more they recommend, the further the channel grows. So thank you guys for everything. But thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
Thanks for hanging out. Now she's got to go to the ranch, and I got to find some breakfast. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next time for another live streaming. But thank you, and we'll see you then.